Hi, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad. This is the Firefighters Financial Toolbox. Today, I want to talk about my retirement. I know I've been talking more about retirement lately because it's getting closer for me. And as you guys know, my wife and I are actually building a house in Arizona in the West Phoenix Valley. And she will be moving down there once it gets finished. And then I will start the commute 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off from work idea. Anyway, looking at some pictures here in the background of our houses. So I decided to do a video on the pros and cons of retiring to Arizona. And this is a title I found on 55places.com. So don't judge on me. Don't judge. All right. Anyway, so retiring in Arizona, pros and cons. Thinking of moving to Arizona? Here's a comprehensive guide telling you everything you need to know about the climate, the cost of living, taxes, and that sort of stuff. It also covers different parts of Arizona, the two main cities, and things to do. Let's start with the pros because that's why we do it, right? A hot climate. Of course, a major positive about living in Arizona is the climate. So much so that we've dedicated an entire section to it below. It's enough to say that if you like the sun and hate the cold, you should definitely consider moving to Arizona. Now, you guys, here in Oregon, we get a lot of rain. And when it's not raining in the wintertime, it's overcast. It's gray. It's depressing. So my wife and I have always wanted to retire to a warmer climate. So that's our agenda. Golf and other pursuits. Because of the climate, Arizona has huge appeal to golfers, tennis players, pickleball lovers. I like pickleball. And those who enjoy hiking, biking, and horse riding and other activities outdoors. You guys, I love to go hiking. I love mountain biking. These are a couple of things. And with 300 days of sunshine a year, you can do it almost any day of the year. It says also many active adult communities have their own golf course. The community we're moving into does actually have a golf course as well. It has some pickleball courts as well as some community pools and a gym facility. Picturesque parks and natural spaces. Arizona has 22 national parks, including, of course, the Grand Canyon, right? And a further 31 state parks. Although the image of Arizona is desert, 30% of the state is actually covered in forest, including the Tonto National Forest, which covers almost 3 million acres. So you guys, you have a lot of diversity besides just being a desert. It's not a flat, empty dust bowl. Top-notch health care. Because of its large number of retirees, Arizona has a large number of good hospitals, doctors, and other support services to look after the older age groups. So that's a positive in that I'm going to be getting older, obviously, then. Excellent food and drink. Arizona's large resorts attract some of the best chefs in the country. They also have a thriving craft beer, craft spirits, and cocktail scene. And there are even some wineries forming. Yes, Arizona does produce some good wines. The other thing is a low cost of living. And that was the thing for us, was the housing was lower cost. Now, it has been going up, obviously, with the wood crisis. But as a rule, the housing is a little bit cheaper. And it says, on a national scale, Arizona has a pretty average cost of living, but it's far cheaper than other states, which are popular among retirees, such as Florida and California. If you're moving from California, you'll find it's about a third cheaper. So obviously, being on a fixed income in retirement, a little bit lower cost is a nice thing. So let's get into the cons now, because nothing is perfect, right? A hot climate. For some, the climate could be a disadvantage. In central and southern Arizona especially, you have to be prepared for long periods in the summer when the temperature will be well over 100 degrees. Now, personally, I lived in Las Vegas for a while in high school, so I've been experienced to the heat. And it is a dry heat, you guys, and I would say a 100-degree day is equivalent to about an 85-degree day here. But when it gets over 110, it becomes hot. It's pretty, unbearable. But really, it's only a few months there. All right, be prepared for the pests. The hot climate appeals to humans, but it also appeals to bugs. Many homeowners subscribe to pest control services, which regularly guard against nuisance like scorpions and cockroaches. You guys, I have some friends that live down there. They They have a guy come once every couple of months. They spray the house. If you get the little bugs, the bigger bugs don't come, right? If you don't have the little cockroaches, the scorpions don't have food. Basically, you kill the food chain at the smallest critters, and then it's not as bad. Lots of active adult communities have built on what was formerly desert lands where critters live. On the other hand, some other states have worse pest problems. I've heard stories of people finding snakes in their garage or whatever. They call the fire department, they come and take it out. So it can be a con for sure, and can certainly be a pain, right? But I don't see it as a major game changer. All right, so let's talk about the Arizona climate. When moving to Arizona, you can't ignore the weather. It's a big factor in deciding where you want to move. If you enjoy 4 seasons, you don't mind winter, then northern Arizona would be ideal. If your attitude is bring on the heat and the sun, central and southern Arizona will appeal to you. Most of the central and southern Arizona has roughly the similar climates. Winters are usually mild with daytime temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Snow is unusual, but you might get 1 or 2 days with a flurry where the temperature dips below freezing and outdoor pipes have to be protected, but that's usually as bad as it gets. Price paid for the mild winters is very hot summers. As early as May, the mercury can start climbing over 100 degrees. And it can stay that way for basically the whole summer, from mid-June till September. Mid-June to September is actually the monsoon season in Arizona. Yes, it's opposite, right? Up here we get rain mostly in the winter and the summers are nice. Down there, the summers are hot, but you also get storms that will blow in and dump an inch of rain in 2 hours. And they can be intense evening and afternoon thunderstorms. And it can even cause the heat to drop. And remember, because it's dry and it's a desert, the water doesn't absorb into the ground. It tends to run, and that can cause roads to flood. And that can be a problem. Flash floods can occur, but if you're prepared and behave sensibly, that's not usually a problem. Obviously, when it's going to have a thunderstorm, the news is going to tell you guys, and then you got to be considerate. And Arizona taxes. Active adults considered to move in Arizona should know the state generally has average to low tax rates compared with the rest of the country. This, for me, is a big deal because I will have a small pension from the state, and my taxation bracket in Oregon is 9% for the state taxes. Down there in Arizona, it's about 3%. So I'm basically saving about 6% every month on the taxes I would pay to the state. It also has pretty low property tax. The average property tax in Arizona as a whole is 0.87% of a home's assessed market value, which is about a third less than the normal across the U.S. Property tax exemptions are available for qualifying widows, widowers, or disabled people on fixed incomes. So that could be a possibility, right? Arizona retirement income taxes. Social Security benefits are not taxed in the state of Arizona. Other forms of retirement income, however, are, although tax rates are lower than in many other states that are popular with retirees. There's no inheritance tax in Arizona, which can be important if you're considering leaving something to your heirs. There are also property tax exemptions and tax freezes if you're, as we said, widow or disabled. We talked about the top-notch healthcare in Arizona. So let's talk about where to live. Basically, they're going to break down. So if you don't want it super hot and you like the 4 seasons, then consider someplace like northern Arizona. And you can place it like Flagstaff or Prescott, which is really nice, and in the mountains. You get actually some nice snow in the wintertime. Flagstaff has a ski resort. Sedona, beautiful hiking trails, very artsy New Age town. Phoenix in central Arizona. For conveniences of city living, remember Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the U.S., which I actually didn't know until I went down there last year. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that big. And then you have little cities around Phoenix, Surprise, Scottsdale, Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, where you can certainly have some nice areas in the suburbs that are, and depending on your area, Scottsdale being a little bit more expensive, obviously, some of those areas are a little bit cheaper. Despite its size with almost 5 million inhabitants, it's still relatively easy to get into and out of the surrounding desert and mountains. The one thing I liked about Phoenix that we don't have here in Portland is they build freeways to get you there. I mean, even though you have so much population, the traffic moves. Tucson in southern Arizona. Remember, Tucson is the state capital. It's also the second largest city. Has locals say that in Phoenix you have to drive out to the desert, but in Tucson the desert begins at the end of your driveway. It's much smaller with about 1 million people and about actually 500,000 in the city itself, 1 million in the metropolis. Cost of living in southern Arizona is comparable to northern Arizona, and it's a little cheaper than Phoenix. So Phoenix being a little bit more expensive than some of the rest of Arizona. You have well over 100 active adult communities in Arizona. Buyers are sure to find something that meets their requirements and budget. And that's what we did, you guys. We actually looked at several 59 and over communities, and we chose one of the Sun Cities. It's one of the newer ones. It's out a little bit further a little further out in the valley, which I really like. What do you guys think? If you were considering a place to retire, would you consider Arizona, or is that like way too hot? For me, the heat is going to be a nice thing. Yeah, there's going to be some days when it's warm, but I like that I can get up and pretty much year round. If I want to go hike on a trail or mountain bike in January, it's warm enough for me to do that. If the summertime gets real hot, then I'm going to be laying by the pool and having a cool beverage. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what your opinion is. Where is your ideal place to retire? All right, you guys. I hope you got something out of this. If you did, do me a favor. Drop me that like. It really helps the algorithm. All right, we'll see you again. Thanks.